Homan. Tom, great to have you here. We just saw that you were at the ceremony for the Laken Riley Act. Obviously, an emotional time for her family and for families like hers that you have had too much experience with. What changes with this act? What does it allow law enforcement to do, Tom?
Look, it's a requirement for DHS to actually detain these people. So if you're in the country illegally, you get arrested for a crime, you have to detain them. It's no longer an option. So if this was in effect during the Biden administration, you want to see criminal aliens being released every day by the hundreds every day. So this is in statute, it's in law. You got to detain these people. It's the right thing to do to protect public safety. President Trump, a game changer. This is going to be a very effective action to keep our streets safer from starting day one.
Yeah, so he had, I believe, shoplifting and endangering the life of a child because he had a little kid on the back of his bicycle and the police pulled him over. For those offenses, he could now be immediately removed from the country. And this young woman, this nursing student, would still be alive?
Absolutely. I've said ever since that happened, if this administration would have kept, we ended catch and release in Trump administration. They would have kept that policy, she'd be alive. If they would have kept her remain in Mexico rather than shutting it down, she'd be alive. If New York City wasn't sanctuary city and would have gave him, after he was arrested, give him to ICE, she'd be alive. So we're addressing all three of these things. Remain in Mexico, coming back, catch and release, it's ended. And the Laken Riley Act is going to give us even more strength to make sure these people are detained and not walking the streets.
So you had a good sit down with Mayor Adams, and we spoke after that. You said that you saw the cop in him. Are you getting, how's it going now? Are you seeing the follow-up on the things that he assured you he would help you with?
No. I'm going to make a trip to New York City. I know Mayor tells me he wants to get us back into Rikers Island. He wants his officers to help us find public safety threats. He wants his officers to help us find missing children that the administration released. But the city council don't see eye to eye with him. So, he wants to write executive orders. I'm willing and able to help write those executive orders to get us back in Rikers Island and get his cops on the street working with us. But talk is talk. Until I see the actions, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to make another trip and see if we can turn those words into actions.
Yeah, but turning that city council has been the rock that he has run into over and over again. So you think that he could have executive orders as mayor of the city that would override them?
Yeah, I absolutely do, and he does too. So we're going to work with him and try to make that happen.
All right. So I know this is not a shock that the ladies of The View are not particularly satisfied and happy with how things are going. Here's a little response from them in yesterday's program. Watch.
I don't know anybody in the world who wants to keep the criminals.
To call people illegals is, in and of itself, I think, xenophobic and racist. They're not transparent about who they're bringing. If they broke down every person deported and said, we've got 16 murderers, 15 rapists, 13 repeat offenders, everyone in this country, including Selena Gomez, would say, bravo.
Tom, from what we see, and we put faces up on the board here every day. Here's a couple of posts that you guys just posted on the ICE X social media with people's names and what they were busted for. And, you worked under President Obama. Let's play President Obama on this issue of removing people from the country. Watch this.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up.
So he also used the word illegal there. Public response, it's important in terms of getting things done. But does this matter to you at all, this response?
Oh, look, The View doesn't matter to me. I consider them the island, the misfit toys, to tell you the truth. But look, you want to turn it illegal is a xenophobic phrase, really? That term was written by Congress. In Title 8, United States Code 1324, 1325, the legal term is illegal. The illegal term is alien. So if they want to change the law, we'll use a different term. Until then, we're going to stick with the legal terms. As far as not being transparent, we've been very transparent. We have said from day one, we're going to look for national security threats and public safety threats right out of the gate. However, in sanctuary cities, if we can't arrest a bad guy in the jail, we're getting locked out of the jail, we're going to go into the neighborhoods and find him. And when we find him, he's most likely going to be with others. That may not be a criminal priority, but they're in the country illegally, and ICE is not going to turn their back. They're not going to turn their back on the oath they took. They're not going to turn their back on the laws that are enacted by Congress. they're going to enforce the law. So if you want less collaterals arrested, then let us in the jail. Let us arrest the bad guy in the jail. That keeps the officer safe, keeps the alien safe, and it keeps the public safe. So that's the answer. So come to the table and work with us.
Well, we know people in the Bronx were cheering these arrests, and I think a lot of people are starting to feel a little bit safer. I know you want to ramp up the numbers. You're not satisfied with where they are right now, and I hope we'll talk to you soon about where that's going. We're going to go to a new swearing in now as well. Tom, thank you. Tom Homan, ICE czar, joining us this afternoon.